Some headlines and then this foolishness and the buzz on social media with today's hashtags. And first up, a possible meltdown in Minnesota. This week, wide receiver Adam Thielen publicly called out his team's struggling passing offense. Then, believe it or not, quarterback Kirk Cousins went on a local radio station and apologized to Thielen for missing throws, which is not exactly something my man TB would do, I don't think.
No.
But maybe Cousins apologized to the wrong receiver. That's because by week's end, there was a lot of talk that Stephon Diggs is demanding a trade, which he did not deny by saying, quote, "There's truth to all rumors." Jay will have more on that in just a bit. And as you can see, fans on social media are having no problem describing the mess in Minnesota these days. And while we're talking about the Vikings and Giants, there's also another Minnesota-New York battle going on right now in the American League Divisional Series. Yesterday, the Yankees beat up on the Twins, while the Astros also hit the Rays. Each team now just one win away from the ALCS. You can catch the American League playoffs tomorrow and all week long on FS1 as we head toward the World Series and a spectacular month of sports right here on Fox. And guys, watching the pre- and post-game show, it was great to see Big Papi back in action in the Fox studio with those bedazzled earpieces. I don't know if you saw that.
Only Papi can get away with that.
He carried it off. Hey, you know what? It's not bright and shiny in Minnesota right now. TB, you take a look at this Vikings squad. What's going on? How do you fix it?
Well, I'm going to say what I actually have to repeat myself from Fox Thursday Night Football because basically here's what happened. They thought they needed just the quarterback, so they go out and get Kirk Cousins and give him all that money. The problem's not Kirk Cousins. They are built to throw the football. You look at it, Diggs and Thielen. You're talking about Rudolph. They took a great pass receiving tight end and made him a blocker. And then you talk about Cook to run it. They are built to throw. The league is built to throw. And Zimmer, if you just want to run the football and lose football games, keep it up. You'll have another job. Maybe you can go to Michigan next year because that seems to be what they do in Michigan.
Terry, I think you're right. I think Zimmer would probably be happy if they ran the wishbone and didn't throw the ball at all. He is so afraid that, Cousins is going to turn the thing over, either fumble it or throw an interception. And aren't you supposed to have chemistry between the quarterback and the receiver?
Chemistry.
Thielen and Diggs, there's no chemistry with the quarterback. And the other thing is, hey, this is a playoff team. And they've got to straighten it out somehow. They need an intervention. Cousins, Zimmer, and the receivers straighten it out. Because this team can go all the way.
The quarterback is playing too uptight. They just got to
Do you blame him?
Yeah,
he's playing uptight because they put him in that position to play uptight. I mean, you have Thielen, who is 64 million, Diggs 72 million, Cousins 84 million. That's $220 million in three guys. The one who's making the most, you don't let him do either what you brought him there for. And you're going to get the Giants defense, 25th ranked defense at yards per game in the pass. If you don't throw the ball today, you're showing us a lot about what you think about his abilities as a quarterback. You got to throw the ball today to win.
Jay's got some good stuff on Stephon Diggs. Before we get to that, though, Howie, I want to talk about the NFC West right now because after Thursday night, we saw Seattle beat up the Rams.
To try and solve that Vikings defense.
All right, these teams both 2-2, but they want to head in the right direction. We'll see a lot of talent on that field today. It's the Giants and the Vikings coming up next. That's what I'm talking about.
For a future that looks a lot like Khalil Mack.
It's the magical month of October, and Fox's postseason baseball is in full swing. Tomorrow night, it's a pivotal Game 3 as Aaron Judge and the Bronx Bombers visit Minnesota's Bomba squad. With a 2-game lead, the Yankees will try to close out the American League Division Series. Catch all the MLB action Monday at 8 Eastern on FS1.
Everybody!
The third quarter of that one, while we get the coffee cleaned up on the desk, we will get it over here to you, Howard.
Get the actor.
We talked about it in the pregame. While my man, who's a hot mess over there, we talked about in the pregame, Minnesota having to turn Kirk Cousins loose, trust him, and they've done that in this game. We talked about the yardage in the first half. Here on a simple run action to the left, boot to the right. This is a staple of the Denver offense under Gary Kubiak. I thought we'd see more of that in this offense. To Diggs for 16, then he hits Thielen for 13. These wide receivers did a lot of talking during the week, and squeaky wheel gets the oil. Then he hits TD for Thielen for 24 yards, 24 passes in the first half, 19 for 24 with 278, 1 TD.
This is why we can't have nice things here.
And you know, for the Giants, it's kind of a mess, TV. But for the Giants, you know, the Vikings are without Diggs, without their other star receiver. Cover the good guy they have. Cover Thielen. Also, you got to tackle. You got to get Cook on the ground. You got to tackle. Giants defensively are showing a lot of holes right now. They have all season.
All right, they will also be on Fox on Thursday night, will the New York Football Giants, as they take on the New England Patriots. Pregame fest, we'll call it that, last week against the New Orleans Saints. Both teams are 3-1, so it should be a good contest to welcome you to the State Farm Game Break Show. Talk about a good contest. I don't know how good it was, but it was a very good offensive performance from the Minnesota Vikings today after a week of controversy for their offense, Terry.
Turn him loose, let him play. Stephon Diggs complained. He missed practice, team meeting. Of course, Giants running back Wayne Gallman Jr. had to leave the football game, but Cousins 300 yards passing on the day. Finds Adam Thielen, big touchdown for him, 9-yard touchdown. Thielen, 7 for 130 yards, 28-10. Vikings beat the Giants.
So he had 130 receiving, 306 passing for Kirk Cousins. I guess that's one way to answer the critics. We'll call it that, last week against the New Orleans Saints. Both teams are 3-1, so it should be a good contest to welcome you to the State Farm Game Break Show. Talk about a good contest. I don't know how good it was, but it was a very good offensive performance from the Minnesota Vikings today after a week of controversy for their offense, Terry.
Turn him loose, let him play. Stephon Diggs complained. He missed practice, team meeting. Of course, Giants running back Wayne Gallman Jr. had to leave the football game, but Cousins 300 yards passing on the day. Finds Adam Thielen, big touchdown for him, 9-yard touchdown. Thielen, 7 for 130 yards, 28-10. Vikings beat the Giants.
So he had 130 receiving, 306 passing for Kirk Cousins. I guess that's one way to answer the critics. All right, Howie, we talk about answering the critics. He can say that his preparation was the same as it is every week, but the results were certainly different today.
It was an unusual week, to say the least. Thielen, in particular, is not a guy that you're typically used to hearing complaints about. Kirk Cousins had a good day, and I think he needed to have a good day to kind of stop the bleeding internally. Receivers had great days. Dalvin Cook was as usual, both on the ground and through the air, but the big difference was kind of putting the ball in Cousins' hand, letting him throw the football. You have to do it.
You got to be free. You got to take that pressure off and let them just play. You can't sit there and demand something of them that really is not in their nature.
And they did a good job. They moved him around the pocket, did all those things. They went up against a Giant defense that couldn't cover you in a bed with a blanket right now. So it was like a nice. I know that was a little harsh, but it's true. But it's a very. It was the medicine they needed.
All right, let's cuddle up to some more highlights right now. Over in London, it's the Bears.